So, like we've been doing each one of our lives for the last few weeks, we're gonna get into agree or disagree, Tony. All right.
Okay.
So this week there was a comment that Tommy Trimble made in a phone interview with the Charlotte Observer. Okay, and
Right.
I'm gonna throw the quote up on the screen here. But he said this is the first time that we've really been coached up receiving wise, other than us trying to figure it out on our own. This is really the first opportunity we've had to excel in the receiving game and have points and receive teaching points on how to attack this kind of leverage, attack this kind of defense. Before it was more you run what's on paper, and you try to make it work. You try to figure it out
Okay.
yourself. Okay. So my question to you, and agree or disagree, um, do you agree that Trimble was right to, to make this statement to kind of, in a way, not necessarily throwing shade at the previous regime, but do you think he was, out of pocket for making the statement, or do you agree with him for making it?
I agree with it. You know, I guess you could say, well, I agree with most of it, and I guess you could kind of say I slightly disagree a little bit because I can understand the other part of it where some people feel like maybe he shouldn't have did this or said that. Whatever the case may be. But I'm a fan of Tommy Trimble. I think he's a very respectful, um, someone that's honest about what he feels. And in that moment, like I don't know what the exact question was that was asked of Tommy Trimble, but I guess what he was doing was giving his honest um not objection, but his honest opinion on the past regime with Matt Rule and the new regime under Frank Wright and the coaching that he received before and the coaching that he's receiving now. And he noticed there's a night and day difference. You know, one tight end coach wasn't teaching them this or that. This tight end coach is. And I really don't see a problem with him being honest and stating the differences that he see in the coaching staff. He honestly feels like this coaching staff is teaching him the little things about playing the position that can possibly help take his game to another level. And I don't, again, there's nothing wrong with that. If Just think about if that kind of teaching was given to him in the old regime, would he be more uh advanced at this stage of his career right now? I know it's still early on. I think it's like his third year, but would he be a little bit more, advanced in his production and in his knowledge of playing the tight end position? Because coming out of Notre Dame, he was just known as a blocking tight end. But now it seems like they want to utilize him and get him involved in the passing game. And I don't see nothing wrong with that. So in my opinion, no, I don't think you're wrong. I don't think he was wrong. So yeah, I agree with what he said. What about you? What do you think?
Okay, now I am going to side with you on this one, and I'm also going to agree. And I just agree for the simple fact that I've said it on this channel time and time again. Coaching matters. Okay. Coaching
Facts.
matters. So if if they were going out there and being told, okay, this is the route, go run it. And then not coming back and getting any kind of feedback on, okay, well, you went out and the linebacker did this. You were supposed to do this, but instead you did that. So let's make that change and let's go out and run this play again. And then we'll see if it works better. All right. And like you
Right.
said, him coming out of college, he was primarily known as a blocking tight end. So you would think that he would be getting more coaching on how to run routes, how to run routes properly. Um, and I also agree where in the world, he could potentially be. if he was receiving, the proper coaching. And this isn't me trying to take anything out of context, but just reading into what he said, if he was, if the coaches were teaching him how to do run his route against this type of leverage, or how to attack the defense, as he said in this quote, he may be
Right.
further along in his career. His career's only been 2 years, but he might be further along. And it begs
Right.
the question, could Trimble have possibly made his way to tight end one? Would we have Hayden Hurst on the team right now? And that's a big if, everybody. I'm just kind of throwing that out there. I'm not saying that he's this super talented cat and this derailed his career, but I think that he may be further along in his progression now, as a tight end. And you know i'm a I'm a proponent of facts are facts. Okay,
Right.
if it happened, it happened. No slight and no shade on anybody else, but if something was done wrong, it was done wrong. If you ask me about it, I'm gonna tell you. So I have no issue with that.
Exactly.
And I just hope that it didn't go any further, than the tight end room. Because we do have a lot of talented young players on this team. And I'm wondering, you know, was there a lack of coaching at other positions as well? And even in Frank Wright's
Mm.
presser from earlier in the week, he said that the tight end room was exceeding his expectations. So
Yes, it
you
did.
combine that with Tommy Trimble's comment about how they haven't been getting coaching like this, especially in the last regime. Then you know take what you want out of it, make what you want out of it. It seems to coincide with me, and like I said, I didn't have an issue with it at all. My thing is, hey, speak your truth, young brother. Tell it like it is.
Right.
Yeah,
And the other thing about that is you can't say that you can't say that he's making it up, because if you go back to a couple years ago, Teddy Bridgewater brought some things to light when he said we didn't practice the 2 minute drill, we didn't practice red zone, things of that nature. And it got me to thinking, like, was that necessarily all Matt Rule's fault, or was that also some of Joe Brady's fault? Because Joe Brady was the offensive coordinator. And, Teddy Bridgewater was like, I hope Joe Brady can get out of here, basically what he was saying, and get somewhere else. So it kind of, thinking about it, it kind of made me feel like maybe it was something that Joe Brady wanted to do, and Matt Rule was like, no, we're gonna spend more time doing this. You know what I mean? So it's not far fetched what Tommy Trimble said, because in my mind, it just adds validity to what Teddy Bridgewater was saying about, whether they practice red zone or 2 minute drill when he was here. So yeah,
yeah.
and plus he didn't throw nobody in the bus. He didn't throw nobody in the bus. He didn't mention no names.
hmm
He just answered the question and gave an honest answer.
But yeah, and when Teddy made those comments a few years back, our fan base kind of gave him the business a little bit, and almost in the sense of it's like, whatever, you're not that good of a quarterback anyway. But
Right.
and I wanted to bring this whole topic up because I've seen some things lately where folks were saying that he was running the wrong routes, and um if the coach go out there and tell you to run a route, you run the wrong route, that's on the player. Well, yeah, that is on the player. But when they're not getting that essential, just okay, I saw you did this on this play, but you should do this. When the defense is giving you this look, you need to go here, stuff like
The
that.
little
And
nuances.
yeah, and like you said about Teddy was like they didn't practice the red zone, and it didn't surprise me that Frank Wright had them out there practicing red zone plays in OTAs, and somebody asked him like, "Why are you doing this so early?" And in my mind, I'm sitting there like, well, shoot, the previous coaching staff didn't really do it at all, so somebody got to do it. So,
Right.
but
Exactly.
but yeah, so it's wild, man. It's really wild, but. You got anything you want to say before we get out of here, Tony?
No, man. I just excited to see what's gonna happen next week in minicamp. Again, I know we just in shorts and t-shirts and helmets, and ain't too much more gonna happen. But it just gonna it's the last step before we get to training camp. And so
Mm-hmm.
that's when we're gonna get to see some live action. We really gonna see what we have on paper, how it translate to the field.
But yeah, Tony, I agree with everything you said, man. And I just want to thank everybody out there who subscribed to the channel. We're up to 560 subscribers on our way to 1,000. We appreciate all the love and support. But if you haven't yet, please click that like button, subscribe, turn on those post notification bells so you know when our videos come out. We appreciate all the love and support. And in the comments, let us know about today's agree or disagree topic. Do you think Tommy Trimble was right for his statement? Was he out of pocket? Let us know what you think. And as always, Panther Nation, keep pounding.